everyone, and welcome to my organized life, where I'm trying to get my life organized. If you're new to the channel, a huge hello and welcome to you, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for returning. I appreciate you. So today we are going to be going through and closing April paycheck number 1, and I'm always really excited to do these videos. I feel like I've got closing the paychecks down. It's just the months I struggle with, but I have very high hopes for this month. But before we get to closing the paycheck, we are going to be updating my Walmart MasterCard transaction tracker as well as my spending tracker. So we started doing this last week. So on the 9th was my first check-in where we kind of featured these two things in the videos. So we're just going to be updating those, and then we'll get on to everything that we normally do. And I wasn't really sure where to include kind of like the check-in type, so I'm hoping that the video won't be too long with including that, but we're going to include it today and see, and then we'll go from there. So this is my budget binder. I use the Budget by Paycheck workbook by the Budget Mom. I bought the PDF version, and then I added some online resources and my own flair to it to kind of make it a little bit more unique to me and suit my needs. So we are going to skip to April. So today is the 22nd, tomorrow's payday, so we're going to be closing this paycheck to get ready for that. So I'm just going to pull out the sheets that I need. These are just magnetic bookmarks. They are super helpful to just flip to my most used pages. That way I don't have to flip through a whole bunch of pages. I can just use these to kind of quick flip. Everything that I use, and then some will be linked in the description box below. Any stuff that I use from Etsy will be in its own link, and then everything I use from Amazon will be in one link that will take you to my idea list that's kind of categorized in different categories. There's one for budgeting, one for office supplies, planning, that kind of thing. So hopefully everything's kind of easy to find. So let's see, what pages do we need? We need these two for sure. Let's see, what else? I'm gonna need my transaction log, and so far, I haven't even filled up an entire page for my cash spending, which is what I spend the most of, so that's exciting to see. I'm going to need my debit, I'm going to need my savings. So those are all of the pages I'm going to need for now. Let's go through and we'll update my Walmart MasterCard tracker first. So we're going to zoom in here. I'm just going to quickly sign into my MasterCard. So this is already going to look really bad. I'm going to warn you guys, I did not do very well with my card this paycheck. And we did have some unexpected expenses that I put on my card that I probably shouldn't have, but I did. And I will get there eventually. Okay, so on the 18th, my Photoshop came out. So I budget $31 for that. The price always changes because it's paid in US dollars, so there's always a difference in the conversion amount. So this time I was charged $28.37. And then on the 19th, we actually noticed that Miko has a UTI. So Miko and Stitch are my trouble cats. They're gonna have to start finding a job if they want to keep this medical stuff up. I should look into pet insurance, but I'm not quite there yet. I don't know if I can work that into my budget, and that is something that I'd like to do after I get this paid off, but at this point I'm wondering if it's something I should do before. But since they've both already had UTIs, I think it's technically now a pre-existing medical condition, so I don't know if it would get covered anyways. I'll have to research. But anyways, so at the vet, I was charged $219.33. Okay, and then on the 20th, I made a payment, and this technically wasn't a payment. This was just to cover my giveaway on my other channel. So I put a payment of $220 on there. That's to cover the prizes that I was giving away because those are coming out on the card. One of the purchases isn't showing up though, which is strange. So the 21st, I sent off one of the winners their prize, and that was, let's see, we'll go giveaway prize, and I'm just going to list here what the prize was. So these were the Prismas Premiers, okay, and this was $187.94. Okay, so I did make a purchase today, and it's not showing up on my card, which is weird because it usually shows up right away as just a pending transaction. So there was 3 winners for my giveaway. This was one of them. I've sent the second winner stuff off today, and the third one has yet to contact me. So I'm just going to check this one and see if the price was accurate. Okay, well, since that one was right, I'm going to go ahead and just assume that this one will be correct as well. So it's not showing up on my card yet, but I'm going to write it down here. Worst case scenario, I end up whiting it out later if I need to. So this one was also a giveaway prize. And this is a Hannah Lynn book. And this cost $13.79. So not bad at all there. So I'm just curious on how much I have out of my giveaway money that I put on here left. So I put $220 on there. I spent $187.94 minus $13.79. Okay, so that means I have $18 and roughly 30 cents left for the third prize. However, it's going to cost a little bit more than that, so that just tells me that I need to save a little bit out of my miscellaneous for tomorrow's paycheck to make sure that I can cover that cost on my card. Trying to pay things off the second that I put them on the card, and that's going to help me pay it down and keep it at a reasonable balance, although it's crazy right now. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so that was everything I spent. So now this side I have as what's usable on my card, and this side I have as what's owing. So when I make a purchase, my usable amount goes down, so I subtract my purchases. When I make a payment, my usable amount goes up, so I add. And then for owing, it's the opposite. So if I make a purchase, my owing goes up, so I add the purchases to this side and subtract the payments. So let's see, we're starting off with, we'll do the usable, actually, let's do the owing first. We're going to start off with $661.49. So we're going to add $28.37. Plus the big one, so $219.33. Minus $220. Plus $187.94. Plus $13.79. Okay, and then for this side, we're just going to do the opposite. So we're starting off with $338.51. So we are going to subtract $28.37. I'm going to subtract $219.33. I'm going to add $220. Minus $187.94. And minus $13.79. Okay, and then my card limit is 1,000, so I just like to add these two sides to make sure they equal 1,000. So we're going to add the $890.92. It does equal 1,000, so that adds up. And then I'm just going to add a colored line here just so that way I can see that this is first paycheck, this will be second paycheck. So did not do a lot here. We are definitely way worse off than we started by quite a bit, but a lot of this was this extra vet payment. Everything else on here was paid for. I had money saved up for these transactions. This one, however, I did not. But I do still have high hopes for this month because with the second paycheck, I'm going to be able to put some of my bills money toward this. And then also we do have the April savings, which is going to be going towards this as well. So hopefully I can make a decent dent in it this month. But that is it for Walmart MasterCard. Let's go through what I've spent. Okay, so here is my April overview of my spending. So in the check-in that we did on Friday, the 16th, we figured out all of my spending from the 9th to the 15th. I didn't include the 16th because I wasn't sure if I was going to spend anything that day. So today we are going to be doing from the 16th to the 22nd. Today is the 22nd. I'm not going to be buying anything because I'm going to be closing my budget. So I'm not going to be buying a single thing. So we'll do all of my spending for the rest of this paycheck. So these are the categories that I have here. And then I've created my own expense tracking stickers here. Okay, so this is my son's tablet. I just wanted to show you guys this here. I'm not sure if this app is available on other platforms. Let me just quickly see if it's available on Google Play, and then I would kind of assume that it's available everywhere. It's called Spending Tracker. It is on there, so hopefully it's just available everywhere. This is actually really interesting. It's one step further. I still mostly use my budget book for everything, but this is nice to just have everything at my fingertips. So you can have different accounts, which is your different spending accounts. So I've got cash, basic savings, debit plus. You've got expense categories and income categories. So I've got all of my expense categories here. It's really cool because you can pick a color for each category and then you can pick an icon, and there's tons to choose from. So it's super customizable, which is awesome. And then you've got your income categories. So I've got YouTube, Sev, and job number 2 because those are the 3 places that I get income from. And then I just have a no category there, one just in case I need to use it. You can go into reports and it will show you everything that you've used. So since I started using this, I've spent $46 on miscellaneous, $32 on food, and $16 on bills. So it will show you categories or cash flow. So the cash flow is your income and your expenses. And then categories, let's see, you have the option of doing a pie chart or a bar chart. And then you can also do percentage or dollar amounts, which is really cool. So you've got your spending here. You can see your spending on different accounts. So if I wanted to see my spending for basic savings, I've got $3.95. That was my bank fee, so that's all gone to bills, which is pretty cool. And then it's nice because you can hit all accounts and it will tell you your amount for each account. So if you're adding all of your transactions in here as well, you can see what your total balance is. Whereas in the book, I have to add my cash page, my basic savings page, and my debit plus page. So it's just nice to have everything just all kind of right here. With the transactions, you can either add an expense or income, and then it gives you an option to select what category your expense came from, the amount, what account it came from, and then you can add a note. So I've been tracking my spending a little bit in more detail here, especially my lunches. That way I can actually tell you guys what I had. Not that it really matters, but I just figured it'd be something nice to do. So I'm actually really enjoying this app as well. I haven't used it for very long, so I'm not going to speak too much on it yet, but so far I am really liking it. So let's get into this. All right, so we're going to start with cab money, and I did not spend anything in cab money from the 16th to the 22nd. Lunch money, of course, I spent a little bit there. So let's see, on the 17th, I bought 3 strips and 3 wedges, and that cost me $5.25. So that is a decent price there. And then, let's see, on the 18th, I spent $7.90. Let's see, I bought 2 taquitos, which would have been $5.25, but then Ashley was a little bit short. She wanted a drumstick, so I actually just straight up bought it for her. She ended up picking up my shift on Wednesday when I wasn't feeling very well, so I figured buying her a drumstick is the very least that I could do. So that cost me $7.90 between her and I. Let's see, I spent $11.80 on the 19th, so this was kind of not a good day. Spent a little bit more than I would have liked to. Okay, so I bought a breakfast drink and 6 hash browns, which would have been fine, but then I also ate a chicken sandwich because I made too many and I didn't want to have to write off all of them, so I ended up buying one, so not very good there. And then on the 20th, I spent $6.60 on lunch, and that was a chicken salad wrap and a breakfast drink, which was not too bad, but I think I definitely went over in my lunch category. Okay, next is groceries. I didn't spend anything there. I still haven't spent anything on takeout, so I have my full $65 that I allotted for myself for takeout unspent, which is awesome. Miscellaneous, I did have a couple miscellaneous purchases. So on the 18th, I spent $5.80 at the dollar store. I think I got a couple pens, and then I also kind of splurged, bought this for my mom because she loves unicorns, and this is just super cute. So next time she comes over, I'm going to give that to her. Okay, and then on the 20th, I put $40 towards my giveaway, so that went on my card. And that was it for miscellaneous. Let's see, beauty, I haven't spent anything. Pet, haven't spent anything. Bills, my bank fees did come out on the 17th, so between the two accounts, I spent $15.90. So I'm just going to put that right there. Let's see, sinking funds, I haven't spent anything, and rollover, I've included it here because it's a category, but it's not one that I spend from. So that is all of my spending. So let's see, we can add some no spend stickers here. So we've got a no spend on the 16th. So we're gonna put that there. And then we've got a no spend on the 21st, and I'm not spending anything today. So the 21st and the 22nd. So that is awesome. We've got 4 no spend days this pay period, which is really good. I'm happy about that. I usually don't end up spending anything if I don't work, unless we have to go grocery shopping that day or anything. But if I'm not going into work, I'm not usually tempted to buy anything, and I don't have to buy lunch. So that is awesome. Yeah, that is it for my spending. So this is actually really awesome to see everything laid out. I can definitely see what days I end up spending a little bit more. And honestly, back before I started budgeting, I used to spend more on my last week before my paycheck. For some reason, I knew I was getting more money, so I didn't feel so bad about spending the money that I already had. So it's quite interesting to see that now I'm taking care of all the important things at the beginning, like my bills and my grocery money, and then trying to really hold on to that money throughout the rest of the pay period. So that is really interesting to see. I'm happy about that. Okay, so that is it for my check-in on my MasterCard and my spending. So let's hop to just the normal closing of the paycheck. Okay, so this is the budget. I love looking at this. I love how clean this is. This is great. All right, so here are my trackers. I'm gonna go through and highlight these, and I will be right back.
Told me not to worry. You said that we could pick up where we left off.
All right, so there's everything highlighted. It looks so pretty. I love these pastel colors. So I like to close my paychecks in a grid dot journal. With the workbook by the Budget Mom, she gives you a spot to close your months, but I like to close my paychecks as well, just to check how I'm doing in each paycheck, and then the month when the month is over. So I use this grid dot journal to close my paychecks. So this is when I first started, so it was a little bit messy, and then when I continued, I was doing my spending on one side, and then this is just a kind of smaller breakdown of the Where Did My Money Go worksheet, the budget category breakdown, I believe. So yeah, I had my spending on this side, and then the category breakdown on this side. But it ended up being a little bit messy, especially since January I had 3 paychecks. I was able to fit all of the spending on one side, couldn't fit all of the breakdown grids on one side, so that kind of made February a little bit chaotic. March was not quite so bad, but I still didn't like this, and I ended up missing some stuff because I added stuff and just didn't leave myself enough room. So for April, what I've decided to do is actually have it by paycheck. So I've got paycheck 1, this is my spending, this is the category breakdown. Paycheck 2, this is the spending, this is the category breakdown. That way it doesn't matter if I have 3 paychecks in a month, each paycheck has its own page, and then I also don't have to flip back and forth. Everything that I need is going to be on this one page, which I think is going to be awesome. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and calculate all of my spent. So I'm going to go through my cash first, calculate how much I spent in each category, write it here, and then I'm going to do the same thing with my debit plus, my basic savings. And then I forgot that I like to leave room to add it on the bottom, don't I? Huh. Well, I guess this rollover category technically doesn't have to be here, so I'll just use that to write everything on the bottom. So I'll add up everything I spent in cash, everything I spent in my debit plus, and then my savings. And then in this line, I will calculate everything I spent in each category between the 3 accounts. And then just to double check my math, if I added everything right, the total of this line will equal the total of this line. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you guys back.
All your eyes so blue, your hair so soft. To know that if I keep living in the past, I'll never really make it back. I'll never get to hold you how I meant to. I'm saying hey, hey, hey. Won't you let me sing a song about never letting go? I'm saying hey, hey, hey. So let me love you. Just give me a yes or no.
Alright, so both of these lines equal the same, so I think I did that right. And then I just outline these boxes in blue, that way I know that this isn't actually the rollover. Probably keep the rollover out on this side, but I like to keep everything the same, that way I don't end up with mistakes. And I think one thing that I need to start doing is whether I'm closing out my paychecks or the months, I need to do it the same way. Otherwise it's going to throw me off trying to do the two differently. So before, what I was doing was I would have my starting balance as the income that I made, and then have the incoming income as unbudgeted income equaling my total. I'm going to do it how I should do it when I'm closing out the month, and have my starting balance as my rollover, my incoming income, everything else equals my total. So this plus this will equal this. Okay, so my rollover is going to be my starting balance. So that was $194.11. And then I'm gonna grab my income off of my trackers just so I make sure I have everything. Okay, so I've got 100 on my cash tracker. So I did bring in $100 from my birthday sinking fund to put on my MasterCard to cover expenses for my mom's birthday. So I've got that, nothing in debit plus, and then all of my other income is here. So we've got that 100 plus $1,015.43 plus 320.
Yes or no?
We've got $1,435.43 plus our rollover of $194.11 equals $1,629.54. I'm going to grab how much I budgeted for. So I budgeted $35 for cab, $60 for lunch, $200 for groceries, $65 for takeout, $100 for miscellaneous. I didn't budget anything for beauty. I budgeted $60 for pets. These are all bills here. So we have $176.90 in bills plus 50. So we budgeted $226.90 for bills. sinking funds would be $447 plus taxes, so plus 75 is 522. And then for the rollover here, I budgeted $260.64. Okay, so now I can just bring down all of my spent from here.
Won't you let me love you?
Okay, so I'm going to calculate the difference. So I'm just going to take my monthly budget minus my monthly spent. That will be the difference.
Give me a yes or no. I know it's been a while now. You're taking love in parts I've never.
Okay, so there's those there. So green, I was under budget. And pink, I was over budget. So I actually only overspent by $2.10 in my lunch money. I thought it would be worse than that. And only $3.10 in my miscellaneous, which is awesome. And then $100 in bills, which was the $100 for my birthday sinking funds. And I'm totally okay in overspending on bills because that went to my MasterCard. So that's totally fine. So then I'm just going to figure out the percent here. So I'm going to go with my spent divided by my income. I'm going to put my income, so $1,629.54. I'm going to put that on memory. That way I can just go 7 divided by memory recall equals, and that will give me my percent. So this wasn't even a percent, so we're just going to say 0. I'm going to get 6210 divided by memory recall. This will be 4%. Okay, there is those there. So let's see, I gave myself an extra line here, I think. Oh no, because that's for my rollover. Okay. Okay, so now I think, oh no, my budgeted won't equal my total income because I didn't budget for that $100. So I'm going to put my total income here. So I'm just going to outline this in blue. That way I know that this isn't this added up. So this will be $1,629.54. And all of these added up should equal $1,195.59. I'm just going to double check that, make sure it's right. Yep, so $1,195.59. So this minus this should equal our rollover. So $1,629.54 minus $1,195.59 equals $433.95. And I think this will hopefully be bang on, but we're gonna check. So then here, I just like to see how much of my paycheck I spent. So I'm gonna go 1195.59 divided by this number, 1629.54. Ooh, so I only spent 73% of my paycheck. That is awesome. I like to keep it 80 or below. That is my goal. So that is great to see. Okay, so this here is going to be my actual rollover. And then here is going to be my difference. Okay, so now we're going to set this off to the side and we are going to count some money. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my little notebook here. So we're going to do debit, savings, cash, change, total, and then we're also just going to do a cash total down here. So that way I know for my budget tomorrow how much cash I have on hand. Okay, so let's check the accounts first. So debit has $11.86. Savings has $260.64. Savings is not an actual savings account. It is just a secondary checkings account. I just call it my savings account. Typically, bill account would work better. I might have to change the name for that, but I'm okay with it for now. Okay, so change. I keep meaning to get rid of small change like this. I'm okay with keeping loonies and toonies, that's fine. Small change like this, I want to just throw in my change jar, but I don't really know how to take it out of my budget because I don't really want to add it to sinking funds because I track my sinking funds in a different way and that would throw it off. So I don't want to include it there, but maybe miscellaneous, I'm not sure. But since we're already pretty much all the way through closing this budget, I'm not going to worry about the change. I'm going to include it this time and maybe I'll figure that problem out next time. So let's see. So for change, we have $3 and this is a nickel. Those always throw me off. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 45. So $3.45. So for cab money, actually, let's add, I forgot about this. So we've got another $3. So this is going to be $6.45. Okay, so we'll empty all of these.
I'm trying to figure out how I can show you now how I've been running out of things to.
Okay, so we've got 50, 100, 120, 130, 140, 145, 150, 155. Okay, so $155. Okay, let's add all of these up. So we've got $11.86 plus $260.64 plus $155 plus $6.45 equals $433.95, which I'm pretty sure that's exactly what our rollover should be, but we'll double check. And then I'm just going to add up all the change for my cash total. So cash is $155 plus $645. So money on hand, I have $161.45. All right, let's see if those added up. Okay, so rollover should be $433.95. That is exactly what my rollover is. So I have got a difference of $0. That is so good to see. So good. I feel great about this. I think I'm slowly getting a system and understanding how to actually do all this and the proper steps. My tracking has immensely gotten better. I've been really forcing myself to track my spending every single day, write it down every day. It's been so helpful. And the nice thing about that app that I was showing you guys is if I don't want to pull out my budget book and do all of that math and extra work on there, I can literally just pull out that tracking app, put the transactions in there super quick, and then they're there. I can transfer them into my budget book when I have the motivation to do so. But as long as I'm putting them on that tracker, I should be fine. So this is awesome. I'm really happy about this. We have a difference of $0. I think I did really good in my categories. I was really only over by a little bit where I didn't want to, and over a decent amount where I did want to. So that is really awesome. I'm super happy about that. I'm happy about this number going into next paycheck. So I'm hoping to be able to put quite a bit towards savings, but also pay off a decent chunk of my credit card. I really want to get that down by the end of May, beginning of June, end of June for sure. That is my goal. So this is great to see. And then one more thing that I'm going to do, because I said for this month what I want to try to do is put my actual as my actual. So let's see, the money from Sev was right. There was that 320 from job number 2. My rollover was right. And then I also have that $100 from sinking funds, so I'm just going to write sinking funds here. Okay, so let's see. So 1,015.43 plus 320 plus 194.11 plus 100. Okay, so land tax I did spend 125 on. These were right. Okay, so this number's not going to change. However, this one is. We've got that 1629.54. We're going to subtract 176.90. So this is how much we actually had left. Okay, so cab money, I spent $7. Lunch money was $62.10. Groceries was $174.49. Takeout was $0. Miscellaneous was $103.10. None for beauty and none for pets. Okay, so 7, 62.10 plus 174.49 plus 103.10 equals $346.69. That's amazing that I was able to keep my main categories to under $400. That's incredible. Okay, so let's bring back memory minus 346.69. So $1,105.95. Bring that up here. I believe this was right. It should be because my spent equals my budgeted. Okay, so this was 357 and this was 90. So this was 447. So we can subtract that. So 65895. These were right. So this will stay the same. So we can subtract 125. This equals 533.95. Actually, let's change this. I was wondering why that was slightly off because this should equal my rollover because of that $100 for the Walmart MasterCard. So this was actually 150 that I put on that. 150 plus 75. So this was actually 225. So then we go 658.95 minus 225 equals 433.95. So this was the actual number for our rollover. I think I actually kind of like doing it this way because then I can just look at this sheet for everything. This has my budgeted and my actual spent amount. I wouldn't have to go through my trackers. I would just go through this page when I'm closing out my month, which I think I would kind of actually like to be able to do that. I think keeping it all on one page and simplifying it like that for me would be a lot easier and less chaotic, and I feel like I would do better if it was less chaotic because if there's a lot more to the process, I tend to stress out and then I tend to overthink, which is not helpful at all. So if I can simplify it and keep it like this, then I think it would work very well. So I'm going to do this the same way for my second paycheck in April, and then we'll see how well I do with closing the month, and I think that will be my deciding factor on whether I want to continue doing a budget versus what I actually spent. I can definitely see why a lot of people use the columns this way. It seems extremely helpful, so I like that. So this budget was exact. I am so happy about that. We have a decent rollover going into tomorrow's paycheck. I'm super excited to see how much money I can put where, and I really hope you guys enjoyed the process of this. I just want to say thank you so much for those of you that watch my videos and comment with the helpful comments that you guys have been. You guys have helped me so much. If it weren't for you guys, I would still be really struggling with this. I'm still unsure of several things, but I am slowly getting there. I keep saying that this first year is going to be like my trial period of budgeting. It's going to be kind of finessing everything, trying to find what works for me, what doesn't. It's just all going to be learning. And I feel like budgeting is something that you're constantly learning, constantly evolving, because things are never really the same. They're always changing. So it's really nice to actually feel like I'm on track for once. So thank you guys so much for being my motivation, my support. I appreciate each and every one of you. With that being said, I hope you liked this video, but I'm going to end it here. If you did like this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Feel free to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell if you want to be notified when I upload. I'm really excited to work on tomorrow's budget with you guys. There is going to be a new part to that. I'm going to be including my spreadsheet on my numbers that I used for this budget to make it a lot easier. So I'm going to be including that. So feel free to check that out if that's something you're interested. But yeah, I am going to go pick up my little guy from school. Thank you again, guys, so much. And hopefully I'll see you next time. All right. Bye.